Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to read about a different artist. This is a modern artist, and he's American. All of the artists that I've read about before are not alive anymore. They're famous artists from a long time ago. And so today I thought it would be fun to read about someone that's still alive. And his name is Tyree Guyton. And this man was born in Detroit, Michigan. He's an American, like I said, and he grew up, and his grandfather was a great influence on him. His grandfather would take him to the art museum, let him see some of these famous paintings that we've seen. And Tyree had a real flair for art. And his art is different, but it's so much fun. The name of the book that I'm going to read is Magic Trash. And his work, you'll find out, has been in museums all over the United States, and he's won many awards. So let's find out the story about Magic Trash and Tyree Guyton. A winter chill whooshed down Heidelberg Street, and young Tyree Guyton buttoned his coat. Pop! His last button flipped into the gutter. He dove after it, and then dug through the frosty leaves. He pried a popsicle stick from the ice. He hoisted a bicycle wheel off the curb. He scooped up a baseball cap buried in the snow. Pockets clanking, Tyree darted home, a home on the east side of Detroit that already bulged with 10 children. He's picking up all these treasures that he finds on the street. Now you're going to see what he does with those treasures. Shop around, Tyree sang along with the radio as he unloaded the day's finds. His mama didn't earn enough money sewing and cleaning to buy new shoes, much less bikes and balls. So he zapped fun into amazing junk that other people tossed away. The wheels bounced, spokes jumping, dots danced. Let rockets fly, boards tower high, bounce, jump, and dance, magic trash. So look at some of the many things he's collected. And we're going to see what he does with them. Now, this is when he's a little boy. Tyree barely heard the thump-thwack of his brother's games while he dreamed up designs. In school, he sat alone drawing pictures. When his report card arrived, his aunt asked, "Is Tyree dumb?" "No," said his mama, "maybe crazy, but he's not dumb." That's his mama and his aunt. And he's dreaming, probably, instead of paying attention in school. Then one sunny day when Tyree was 9 years old, his grandpa Sam, a house painter, plopped a brush into his hands. "Paint the world," Grandpa said. Tyree dipped in Grandpa's cans of color, sloshing purple, slapping yellow, aiming his brush like magic, like it was a magic wand. Abracadabra, Tyree's shyness vanished. Sweet apples crunched when he glopped the red. He'd never seen Lake Huron, but now it splashed a pool of blue. "Like new," Grandpa said of a glistening ladder. Tyree smiled and swirled a shade of green. Other kids on the street giggled and razzed. "Look at his green face. Ha, green junk." Still, as Tyree zoomed from bent bottle caps to rusty wheels, Grandpa Sam's words twirled in his head. What a fun grandpa that he let him paint that ladder, whatever he wanted to do with it. And you can see his neighbors that are laughing at him. It's too bad that people laugh when they don't really know someone, isn't it? "I'm going to be an artist," Tyree said. His mama hung her head. "That's not a job." He peered into Grandpa's twinkling eyes. Tyree clenched his brush. He would be an artist, yes. I don't think Mama's too excited about her son being an artist. Brush greens and blues on wheels and shoes, slosh, slap, and splash, magic trash. That was at age 9. Now, at age 12, Tyree squinted into spiraling smoke as National Guard tanks rolled down nearby Mount Elliott Street. All his life, neighbors had raced out of town to live in the suburbs. Now, some who had stayed exploded in rage like shaken bottles of ginger ale. Tyree gawked, teeth chattering. Rioters were burning buildings in his neighborhood. And this is what he's seeing. This is Detroit. When he grew to be 16, Tyree too left the shapes and hues of Heidelberg Street to seek a new life. He marched as a soldier. That's amazing. He went into the military. He inspected cars in a factory. He worked as a firefighter. But he never forgot about painting his world. So after all of that, he enrolled in an art school to learn more about colors, lines, and designs. At last, Tyree came back home to Heidelberg, Michigan, Heidelberg Street. You can see there he is starting out. He goes to the military, he works in a factory, he works as a firefighter, and finally, he is able to pursue his dream. When he returned, though, his streets had changed. The houses were deserted, creeping with spirits of owners who had run away from the neighborhood. Tyree tripped over trash, lots of trash, and troublemakers lurked around. They snuck in hollow houses, and they even set fire to one. Woo, spirits twirl, new troubles swirl, kick, burn, and hurl, magic trash. No, cried Tyree, not on this street. His mama still lived in the same house, and Grandpa Sam painted pictures inside now. Tyree grabbed his brush and burrowed through rubbish. He cast spells on suitcases, toilets, and slide trombone. Before the colors dried, Grandpa Sam hurried out to help. They painted a busted bus. They tied shoes to trees. They flung broken bikes and cast-off tires on burnt-out buildings and forgotten yards, and they painted faces of God in blue, black, and orange. Their street sparkled. So you saw how dingy and gross the street looked when he got home, and now look how he and his grandpa have made the neighborhood look. When trouble still sizzled in one discarded home, Tyree coated it in dots and squares of pink, blue, yellow, and purple, then perched a magenta watchdog on the porch. Dopey, dealing thieves hustled from its view, chased away by bright paint and barking trash. Tyree named one home Dotty Waddy and another Fun House. Spying children, hungry children. He dangled broken baby dolls on telephone poles and rooftops. Dots sobbed with each puff of wind. Maybe now others would see. Bright colors flash, scared dealers dash. Bark, cry, and swing, magic trash. So the drug dealers are leaving. They don't know what to do with anything so bright and cheerful. And he is really painting up his whole neighborhood. Some people squawked about garbage. A few neighbors complained to the city. The mayor and his helpers stomped. Soon bulldozers roared up to the project to crush every doll and board. You can't do that, yelled neighbors as dust swooped to the treetops. Get out of here, others screamed. Tyree's trash is beautiful. Tyree scrambled to snatch a few pieces. This is my art, he cried. But the dots and stripes and the baby dolls lay bashed and smashed and still. Tyree rubbed his eyes. Grandpa Sam poked at piles. Old houses talk, some neighbors squawk. Crash, bash, and smash, magic trash. So there's a combination of things going on. People who love his art, who are made happy by looking at his art, and there are people who don't like it because it's different. And that's just the way we are. People act like that. Art had filled Tyree and Grandpa Sam's lives. Now 93 years old, Grandpa Sam had to help. Never stop painting, Grandpa said, squeezing Tyree's hand. And then Tyree stood alone with brushes, paint, and trash. He doesn't have his grandfather to help him now. He wasn't alone for long, though. We can help, neighbors called. Your colors and dots chased away thieves. Together they shoveled, swept, and hauled in new trash. Then, after 8 years of painting and rebuilding, neighbors heard wreckers screech a second time. Faces of God watched while the city crushed 2 more houses. No, Tyree yelled. Tyree and his neighbors were hopping mad. This street is ours, they said. We'll never quit. They marched downtown to tell that story to a judge and a jury. The city argued that Heidelberg Street was a garbage dump. No, decided the court. It is art. So Tyree's art survived. There's the judge with his big gavel saying, no, this is going to stay. The next day, Tyree and his neighbors began anew, aiming their brushes like magic wands. Children sang as they hammered and spattered designs. Even former troublemakers returned, ready to rake, sweep, and build. United by trash, they cast a spell on the street, brightening their homes for good. Words of Heidelberg Street spread far. It blazed across the air. Folks from Canada, Kenya, and Japan scurried to the neighborhood, and they stared and said, wow, look at that. Tyree waved his brush. Welcome, he said. And here's the people that have come from all over everywhere to see the art in this amazing neighborhood. In a warm breeze, dots danced, gleaming cast-offs jangled and jumped. Let rockets fly, boards tower high, bounce, jump, and dance, magic trash. So that was his beginning. Like I said, I'm going to read just a little bit about exactly what happened to him. He, in 2011, which is 19 years ago, the Heidelberg Project celebrated its 25th anniversary. Tyree continues to work on Heidelberg Street, and he travels internationally to lecture and assist with community art. He represented the United States in the 2008 Venice Architecture Fair. You can read about the Heidelberg Project in Detroit or view Tyree Guyton's art in museums, including the Detroit Institute of the Arts. And he actually ended up teaching art in a college, Wayne State University. So he's unique, but this is a totally different kind of art. But what an amazing thing he did for his neighborhood. So this is magic trash. I hope you enjoyed hearing the story.